For the younger generation who had just turned 16 and were now of voting age, it was a unique opportunity to express an avalanche of pent-up energy. Such opportunities are rare and only surface during elections in Iran. A staggering 85% of all potential voters participated in the election. Even within democratic countries and states, this turnout is rare. But everything changed very abruptly when election results were announced. As soon as Mir Hossein Mousavi prematurely announced himself as a definite winner on one hand, and the Ministry of Interior reciprocated by announcing the tallied numbers indicating a different result, the bubble suddenly burst. The once festive spirit of the captor turned to one of anxiety and anguish. Distrustful supporters of Mousavi retorted. The city was filled with an air of distrust. Garbage bins began to burn. Stones started to be hurled. Faces were masked. Tehran assumed a different look. Brutality on the side of the riot police was recorded and broadcast. Injuries and fatalities were reported. Plainclothes police officers and riot guards took to the streets. What could calm the confusion? The avalanche of police enforcement and runaway protesters increased.
ما همه برادر هستیم. روبرو هم نمونیم تو رو خدا. ما هم خوب بودیم. ما انقلاب کردیم. شهید دادیم. خواهر و برادر ما برای انقلاب خون دادن. تو رو قرآن روبرو هم نگرمون نداریم. تو رو خدا دشمن شاد نکنین.
All during the nights, Tehran looked terrorized, and fear and calamity extended into the morning. Destruction of public property became the order of the day. The people had started to wake from their starry-eyed dream. More than half of Tehran had supported Mousavi. His advocates were visible and boisterous, and their opposition was being heard worldwide. The appearance of Mousavi supporters reflected mainly middle-class and upper-middle-class backgrounds. Their tolerance was approaching a breaking point. Plans were made for mass demonstrations with or without the required permits. The density of the objections in Tehran had to be dealt with. A reliable answer to the fraud accusations had to be found. Up until June 12th, all candidates enjoyed access to the mainstream media, especially television, and they expressed their views in lengthy interviews on national stations. After Election Day, however, this opportunity disappeared. When the flames of discontent became apparent, television officials denied opposition candidates access to airtime for fear of fueling the dissension. The opposition launched demonstration speeches, and the internet catalyzed the momentum. Distrust toward national television escalated. Twitter and Facebook suddenly gained a new legitimacy, even though their sources were dubious and unreliable. With the Western media locked out of Iran, Iranian commentators in Europe and the US became a new source of information. They were the best spokespeople that foreign media could grab for interviews, and they were mainly the so-called Green Mousavi supporters. Almost invisible in the US mainstream media was Ahmadinejad's massive number of supporters, mainly from the rural communities.
Hundreds of thousands of people have been on the street in Tehran today, and we're just in solidarity with them. We're the Iranians who voted, and we expected our votes to come out of the ballot, but it did not happen, and we will keep protesting the results until we make the change.
We have four main demands that we're hearing from the people in Iran, and we're standing in solidarity with their demands, which is they want a new election, they want an investigation into the fraud that occurred in the previous one, in the one on Friday, that includes all elements of the government, including from the seminaries, from Majlis, from the different campaigns, to look at and investigate what happened in the election.
It's about the corruption and the cheating in the election. I voted for Karoubi, but I'm wearing green because this is the movement now. And somehow Mousavi is taking the lead, and I'm supporting him, and I'm supporting those who voted for Mousavi.
If we as the people of the United States and the world do really mean it when we say we want democracy in Iran, we need to take action through the UN, and we need to demand a re-election.
The election was rigged, and we want democracy in Iran. But we're asking again the Australian people and Australian government do not recognize the coup d'etat regime, because Ahmadinejad is not representing Iranian people, and Iranian don't want him.
Supporting Mousavi. We want him to be our president, and it's been a fraud in our election.
گریه میکنی؟ عشق شوقه. چرا؟ عشق شوقی همه جمعیت، حامی ولایت. روز دشمنان شکوندن. گریه نداره؟ شما یه خانواده ای؟ بله. پسرات این دختر؟ پسرمه. این دخترم اینم پدر بزرگ بچه هاست، بابای خودمه. ماشاءالله سه نسل زنده باشی. بله. این خانواده ایرانی. دست نامحرمان نمیدهیم. تشکر. دست نمیدهیم. تشکر. شیطان بزرگ رو میشکنیم.
On the eve of the election, Zahra Rahnavard, wife of the Reformist candidate Mirosei Mousavi, in an interview with Bel Arabi, part of the Al Arabiya Saudi station, predicted that if Mousavi did not win the election would be considered fraud.
إذا استمر الوضع هكذا ولم يتم التلاعب في صناديق الاقتراع سيكون